We'll talk about it later.
A year or two back, I shared a drink with Ron Hope. That man can drink.
Yes? What? Howdy.
Fancy seeing you here.
A lot of famous people visit 𝗓𝗘𝗏. Popping back a beer, you never know who you'll meet.
Keeping the inn. Hi there. Welcome to the Stone-Root Inn.
This place has been in my family for generations. Feels like home. It certainly is. My family's owned and operated this place going back generations. Why, the Stone Root's been around so long, it's even older than Midtown, and that's saying something. Aquila City folk value legacy and tradition deeply, and by running this, I get to be part of that. We got a full menu for you.
You trying to get us thrown into prison?
Late one night, Annie Wilcox tried to arrest me for public indecency. She'll be a terror when she grows up.
The Stone Root Inn. We got the best rooms for rent in Aquila City. You looking for just one day or more? Sure thing, honey.
Hey there. Time to get moving.
We got a lot of bars in the city. All class joints. Well, except Aggies. I'm telling you, Centauri Mills is the way to go. Stock up on their discount stuff, and you don't need to food shop for like a month.
I'm the best realtor in town, if I don't say so myself. Nice to meet you. I'm Mr. Tate, and you have the look of a newcomer. Welcome to Aquila City. I don't suppose you're in the market for real estate. If so, then look no further. No, certainly not. But you have the air of someone with means. And these properties are a real bargain, I assure you. In the heart of the Freestar Collective, who wouldn't? I have 2 properties for sale. This one here is a refurbished colonial manor in the heart of the core. I also have a more modest 1-bedroom in Midtown. Any interest in them? It's an unfurnished 1-bedroom, lots of space. It's a very convenient location, just a block or so from QoL Plaza. Are you interested? A shame. Well, if you change your mind, just let me know. A pleasure to see you again. It's my favorite listing I've had in years. Spacious, in the core itself. I took great pains to get all the approvals, so the neighbors should be no problem. It's historic and spacious. Oh my, so much space. And the price is a veritable bargain. I can't say I'm surprised. As rare as properties like this are, rarer still is the buyer who can afford it. But you do take care.
If this shift doesn't end soon, my man is not gonna be happy.
I heard that the walls of 𝗕𝗘𝗚 City were built to prevent nocturnal predators from overrunning the place. I'm going to pretend you didn't just steal that.
Hello there. So good to see you. Good to meet you, friend. Name's Elias Cartwright. I'm the mayor of 𝗕𝗘𝗚 City. Now, I've got a memory for faces, and I can't say I've seen yours around here before. I make it a point to introduce myself to everyone who passes through our fine city. As the founder himself once said, there's no substitute for a warm welcome and a friendly smile. Ah, that'd be 𝗕𝗦𝗘𝗚𝗏, who stuck a shovel in the ground right here over 160 years ago. That first settlement grew to become the city you see today. And let me tell you, it was no small hardship to make that dream a reality. Yes, indeed, this place has a proud and noble history. Why, for some of us, it's practically hallowed ground. That's why I like to meet each and every person who comes here, to make sure they know what a special place our city is. You're more than welcome. As I'm sure you know, us folk in the Freestar Collective put great stock in human kindness and generosity of spirit. I like to think that's what sets us apart from our neighbors in the United Colonies. We don't rely on machines or bureaucracy. We rely on each other. I won't pry about what brought you here. That's all of your business and none of mine. However, I'd be more than happy to give you the scoop about the core and Midtown. Midtown's where most of the business and trading gets done. It's not as old as the core, because it was built later as the city grew. As the name might suggest, Wallside's the district that runs along the inside of the Great Wall that surrounds the city. It's mostly farmers and other laborers that live down there. They ain't got quite as much space, but it's cheaper, so it all works out. Ah, you must be referring to The Rock. It's home to the largest and oldest cantina in town. That's also where the Council of Governors holds its occasional strategy meetings. As mayor of the city, I have a seat on the council. The Freestar Rangers are headquartered in the upper floors. They've got the best view of the city. I like to think that means they're always keeping an eye on the rest of us. I have to say, I sleep a little easier knowing the Marshal and his Rangers are up there protecting the Freestar Collective. You really are new around here, aren't you? Aquilah's every bit as dangerous as it is beautiful. There are creatures out there that pose a mortal danger to anyone caught out in the open. Foremost among them is the Ashtar. They're quick, strong, clever, and damn good hunters. I'd tell you more, but you might not sleep so good. Thankfully, the wall keeps them out. As long as you stay on the right side of it, you've got nothing to worry about. You've got a few choices there. The cantina in the Rock is famed throughout the settled systems for serving the best brew that credits can buy. The hitching post ain't been open long, but most folks seem to like it. If you're looking for a quick drink before moving on, give it a try. Aggie's is a bit of an acquired taste, you might say. Folks who prefer a venue that's a little more rough and tumble tend to feel at home there. Like I said, lots of options. The core is the oldest district and represents the original settlement dating back to the days of Solomon Coe. The descendants of the original settlers still make their home there today. Frank's just the latest owner of the old 𝗓𝗡𝗏 Manor, and he's the worst, simply the worst. But it's been a problem since the 𝗓𝗡𝗏 family ran out of heirs. There's an old wrong the Cartwrights have been trying to right for decades. And hence, well, I need help. He's just another slick, rude, neon corporate hack, full of himself and just awful. I mean, the core is history itself. Cads like him don't belong here. I was right to talk to you about this. The last 𝗓𝗏𝗏 was 𝗓𝗏. Sad tale there. By all accounts, when she lost her last grandchild around 40 years ago, well, it broke her. She packed up and just plain left the estate. Built some farm far from Aquila City and the protection of its walls. It didn't take long before the Ashtar overran the farm, and just like that, no more 𝗓𝗏𝗏s. The 𝗓𝗏𝗏s were one of the early families that took to making a living in space. Very industrious, mainly miners. They settled planetside in the earliest days of Aquila City. They helped good old Solomon Coe a time or two, but they didn't fare well living in full gravity after a couple of generations in zero-G. Lots of health issues. Eventually a string of just terrible luck left only lonely old 𝗓𝗏𝗓𝗏𝗏. Poor lady. And those that were healthy kept leaving Aquila. The call of the stars. Deadly as sin. My granddad warned her over and over it wasn't safe. So I need someone to go to the old 𝗓𝗏 farm, brave the Ashtar, and see if she left a will. I swear I'll honor her wishes. 𝗓𝗘𝗏 owes her family that much. And if it happens to kick Mr. Big Shot out of the Corps, well, that would be a bonus. Sahar left no heirs, no instructions, so everything the Hassanovs owned was in limbo. What happened to the estate? Well, you'd have to be a lawyer to make heads or tails of it. But eventually it wound up on the open market, so slick neon corporate shills could grace our community. If she named any heir, we could get the estate back where it belongs. See things made right. You are a blessing. Sahar's farm is elsewhere on the planet. If you can't handle Ashta, please just don't go. I don't want this whole sordid story to have more tragedy. Be careful, and look out for yourself. Like I said, be careful. I'd rather you've a genuine pleasure talking to you.
I do jobs. Listen, no offense, but I'm swamped.
Why anyone would want to live somewhere so old is beyond me.
Making things harder for yourself! Hold it right there! You're under arrest!
Weston needs to get his brother focused on food production instead of wasting time brewing beer. If I ran things, we wouldn't have this problem. If you're here for Weston, he's underfoot somewhere. Either here or at the factory. But please, if it's about that brewing nonsense, kindly leave. They don't need any more encouragement. Oh, sorry. My nerves are frayed. So many people coming and going for the company. Weston, that's my husband. Well, he's never been what I'd call a dreamer or a visionary. He's a practical man, good with ledgers and numbers. His brother Henry's the creative one, but he seems to have lost interest in growing the company, and now all he wants to do is brew beer. Filburn Agricultural Systems could provide the whole of the settled systems with food. Not just Aquila City. Seems those two are content to think small. That's for sure. Well, you didn't come here to hear me natter on. Anything else? And try to come between Weston and his brother? They'd never allow it. Oh, I've tried to drop hints and make suggestions, but it all falls on deaf ears. I don't mean to sound ungrateful, of course. The company's healthy, and Weston and I live well enough. I'd like to help, you know? I'd like to be a part of things instead of feeling like I'm playing second fiddle. I suppose I should just accept my lot and try to find peace with it. Well, no, not as such. I mean, the business is doing just fine, but it could be doing even better. Those knuckleheads have so much God-given talent, and I just wish they used it better. Well, there is. The stakes are huge. With further R&D on 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, the entire settled systems could benefit. Surely that's worth some less than savory solutions. Right now, it's tailored to Aquila's biomes, allowing wheat to flourish in places it normally couldn't. But if Henry applied himself, who knows where else we could grow in 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏? He may be frustrating, but Henry's the smartest person I've ever met. Just don't tell him that. That's reasonable. Henry's pet project is tied to market perception. His beer, annoyingly, is really good. But if we could make a bad batch, terrible, really, his margins are tight enough he might be forced to throw in the towel. It should be easy. The next big batch of beer is almost done brewing in our factory. You just need to find a way to break in without getting caught by the guard and tamper with it somehow. Then just wait a day or so and see how the batch goes over at the Stone Root Inn. Do that, and I'll pay you handsomely. That's the last I'll talk of this. I really don't understand why Weston can't rein in his brother a little. How much are we going to lose on this brewing nonsense? I know, we're late. It's been this whole frustrating episode. Short version, the farming equipment outside the walls needs to be manually rebooted. But the guards aren't going to be able to send people to fix it for days. We're committed to helping the unfortunates on the stretch, but the 𝗨𝗪𝗔𝗟 are just too dangerous for us to send someone. The full story would take ages. Henry is supposed to be on top of production issues. But his precious latest batch of beer is at a critical point. Whatever the hell that means. And 𝗨𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏's robots should have been overhauled a month ago, but he's just one man, and all of Aquila needs him pretty much all the time. So, whether we're supposed to or not, Weston and I are handling it. You must be new to Aquila City. Outside the city walls are dangerous predators. They've been the bane of colonists from day one. Only well-armed and well-trained people walk outside. Otherwise, they become just the latest statistic. You would do that? If you get it rebooted, I'll get the harvest going ASAP. We can get the wheat to Amira quick. I'll talk with my husband, but I'm sure we could arrange payment. You'd be helping our business too, after all. Just be careful. 𝗨𝗪𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 are very dangerous.
Start security! You're under arrest! No sudden moves! You want to do this the hard way, huh?
I can't. Thing I really need to talk to you about. Give it your best shot. Recycled air. We have to talk. It's important. We should make sure we're well supplied for the trip to Cassiopeia. Hey, I need you to listen to me. Members of Constellation are held to the highest regard, yet you persist on making poor decisions that reflect badly upon us. Because you're bending over backwards to help me right now, I'll stick by your side. But know that I don't approve of this behavior one bit. something you might be interested in.
Hello, Captain.
This is murder! You're on your own!
Well, looky here. You're making things harder for you. Hold it right there. You're under arrest. I guess you're smarter than you look.
The Freestar Collective's got a reputation for being a little lawless. That is not so.
Break the law, you're good in my book.
If it weren't for the walls, the whole town would be an 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓.
Friend caught some weird alien virus, wound up in the clinic for months.
I need to borrow your ship this weekend. Is that okay?
Lifting off right away, or do you need a little bit of time? when you have a moment.
Captain, it is.
Got a freighter coming soon. No time to talk.
Never ever go outside the city walls after sundown.
It's true. My husband runs one of the most successful businesses in the Freestar Collective. But I still think we can do better. If you're here for Weston, he's underfoot somewhere. Either here or at the factory. But please, if it's about that brewing nonsense, kindly leave. They don't need any more encouragement. Oh, sorry. My nerves are frayed. So many people coming and going for the company. Weston, that's my husband. Well, he's never been what I'd call a dreamer or a visionary. He's a practical man, good with ledgers and numbers. His brother Henry's the creative one, but he seems to have lost interest in growing the company, and now all he wants to do is brew beer. Filburn Agricultural Systems could provide the whole of the settled systems with food, not just Aquila City. Seems those two are content to think small. That's for sure. Well, you didn't come here to hear me natter on. Anything else? And try to come between Weston and his brother? They'd never allow it. Oh, I've tried to drop hints and make suggestions, but it all falls on deaf ears. I don't mean to sound ungrateful, of course. The company's healthy, and Weston and I live well enough. I'd like to help, you know? I'd like to be a part of things instead of feeling like I'm playing second fiddle. I suppose I should just accept my lot and try to find peace with it. Well, no, not as such. I mean, the business is doing just fine, but it could be doing even better. Those knuckleheads have so much God-given talent, and I just wish they used it better. Well, there is. The stakes are huge. With further R&D on 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏, the entire settled systems could benefit. Surely that's worth some less than savory solutions. Right now, it's tailored to Aquila's biomes, allowing wheat to flourish in places it normally couldn't. But if Henry applied himself, who knows where else we could grow in 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏? He may be frustrating, but Henry's the smartest person I've ever met. Just don't tell him that. That's reasonable. Henry's pet project is tied to market perception. His beer, annoyingly, is really good. But if we could make a bad batch, terrible, really, his margins are tight enough he might be forced to throw in the towel. What? Oh God, no. I just want it to taste bad. Like stale, or like it's whatever makes beer taste worse. The next big batch of beer is almost done brewing in our factory. You just need to find a way to break in without getting caught by the guard and tamper with it somehow. Then just wait a day or so and see how the batch goes over at the Stone Root Inn. Do that, and I'll pay you handsomely. That's the last I'll talk of this. We only use robots for... I know, we're late. It's been this whole frustrating episode. Short version, the farming equipment outside the walls needs to be manually rebooted. But the guards aren't going to be able to send people to fix it for days. We're committed to helping the unfortunates on the stretch, but the Ashta are just too dangerous for us to send someone. The full story would take ages. Henry is supposed to be on top of production issues. But his precious latest batch of beer is at a critical point. Whatever the hell that means. And 𝗷𝗠𝗦𝗧𝗏's robots should have been overhauled a month ago. But he's just one man, and all of 𝗕𝗘𝗚 needs him pretty much all the time. So, whether we're supposed to or not, Weston and I are handling it. You must be new to 𝗕𝗘𝗚 City. Outside the city walls are dangerous predators. Otherwise, they become just the latest statistic. You would do that? If you get it rebooted, I'll get the harvest going ASAP. We can get the weed to Amira quick. I'll talk with my husband, but I'm sure we could arrange payment. You'd be helping our business too, after all. Just be careful. 𝗪𝗓𝗏 are very dangerous.
Be interested in?
I actually met a guy who finished the Red Mile. He lost an eye in the process, but did walk away with a pile of credits. I mean, you got 2 eyes, right?
Kind of booked up right now. Sorry.
Emily, no, don't listen to my sister. She makes stuff up.
I feel it would be a lot more fun if you hadn't lost the ball.
Akela's the kids can run to their heart's content, and I get a break. Win-win.
Thank goodness we have our jetpacks to offset this ridiculously heavy gravity field.
You really going through with it?
I get tired of being ordered around. I want to be my own boss.
But Liv...
Okay?
Scan any promising leads?
That job would suit me well.
I'm honestly just appalled that anyone...
Got a call, someone's power kept going out. Know what it was? A heat leech as long as my leg.
Keeler would be a quaint world to retire on, if the damn wildlife wasn't so hostile.
See, it can't be that bad. Can it?
Them 𝗕𝗘𝗜𝗚𝗏 authorities been hounding my regular customers, trying to persuade me to sell.
You meet all sorts like kids.
You an independent hauler? I can promise you the best rate in town. Lousy. To put it bluntly, the trade authority is muscling in on my business. So far, I've kept them at bay. But they've been stepping up their game lately. They got all their tricks. Intimidation, extortion, bribery, blackmail. Nothing's off the table. Of course, everyone turns a blind eye, as long as the Council of Governors finds their services useful. So, I'm on my own. But that's my problem, not yours. Excellent.
Have a moment.
You're listening to the Settled Systems News Network.
Nobody's allowed outside the city.
Recycled air. Just isn't the same as the real thing. for you.
Hello, Captain.
My research could open up more of Aquila to settlement. In time. Well, you sure don't look like you're delivering the capacitors I'm waiting for. Something I can do for you? No, you misunderstand, I think. I placed the order last week. I'm just waiting for it to actually show up. So, did you need something, or...? No. That's not really accurate. It is, however, slightly less openly hostile a reaction than I've gotten around here, so I'll take it. I'm not sure what you've heard, or, quite frankly, why this seems to be getting around the way it is. Despite assertions to the contrary, I'm not attempting to run anyone out of a job, or open the city gates to allow Ashta to come pouring in. Nor am I in any way attempting to make a statement about the competence of the current security forces and/or apparatus in Aquila City. I hope that clears things up. Okay, well, I must need to work on my delivery because I keep having this problem. I need to prove that what I'm working on can make a positive difference. Then you'll see it my way. I could really use some help, in fact. Just to make sure this all goes off without a hitch. Would you be willing to place some sensors for me? Yeah, I need them to start gathering data. Pretty simple, I could do it myself, but at this point I think Davis may be having someone tail me. He's that flustered. That is great news. Just take these and stick them in specific spots in the city along the wall. When you're done, come find me. I'll find something to do in the meantime to give myself an air of plausible deniability.
Sure, outlaws, Ashta, those bandits from the Shah gang. This can be a dangerous place. Best to carry a reliable piece. More than a few, yeah. Unless you're up in the core, life around here ain't easy. Folks can find their way into all kinds of trouble. I've had no end of desperate souls come through that door in search of a way out. I know it ain't technically my fault when someone buys one of my guns and starts shooting up the town, but still don't feel great about it. Hopefully you ain't one of those kind. Don't make me regret this now.
There's no one the Trackers Alliance can't find. You must fancy yourself a bounty hunter if you're coming to speak with me. If you think you can hack taking down wanted criminals for pay, the Trackers Alliance posted the mission boards like the one you'll find at the hitching post. I haven't been in the game for a while. These days, I'm more on the admin side of things, finding new recruits, dealing with freelancers, etc. But the wildest bounty I had was for a guy who smuggled several tons of Aurora off of Neon. I was hired by Benjamin Bayou himself. Simple, or so I thought. Tracked the mark across the settled systems, only to find out it was a diversion, and the guy was actually still on Volite Alpha. Built himself a little floating base using scrap crafts out in the deep waters. Swam out a ways to reach him without alerting him to my presence. When I found the guy, He was so blitzed on his own supply that he went willingly. Thought I was an angel, leading him to the promised land, instead of directly to the local authorities. We're a collection of bounty hunters. We track down wanted criminals and the like. Various organizations and individuals pay us to manage these jobs, and we pay members and freelancers who collect the bounties. You have trouble finding the mission board, and yet you think you can track down a bounty. Whatever. Mission boards are where organizations like the Trackers Alliance post jobs, such as bounties for wanted criminals. Any freelancer can take them on if they want. You'll usually find them not too far from spaceports, at bars or other places where people tend to congregate. Show no mercy, leave no quarter.
But anyone would want to live somewhere so old is beyond me.
Thanks for choosing 𝗕𝗘𝗓. What can I get you?
Might want to steer clear of the stretch. Lots of crime over there.
Aquila is one of the oldest cities in the settled systems. There's not enough to do.
Interested in? Pardon?
The sensors are pretty durable. I mean, don't go
I'm one of those
Never
who
spent a
use
credit
lot of
I didn't have
possessions to feel good about my life.
That's what friends are for, right? Huh? Right. There you are. Oh my God. What's going on? You? I can't believe it. Power was flickering the other day.
Go easy on 𝗠𝗢𝗏, okay?
Beaches, I guess.
Everyone
It's like a break.
kind of. He crashes at my place. But man, he could stay too long. I kind of want to tell him enough is enough. But I don't need that drama in my life right now. Great, I guess. 𝗠𝗢𝗏's riding high. As in on drugs. I was trying to put it politely. I mean, I get it. We're in the slums. It's not the first time I've seen that. But with him, it's pretty much every minute he isn't working in the fields. His whole life is just work. Get high and sleep. Tried it already. He won't talk about it. In fact, it just makes him hit the stuff that much harder. The best I can hope for now is that he'll find some way to pull himself out of it. Guess that's just life in the slums. You either survive it or you don't. Aw, you're leaving?
saving my husband. I was so scared.
I hope Milena can help us out. If you make the trip to her and turn up nothing...
If we don't get that wheat ship, that is good news. What was the holdup anyway? Oh, that makes sense. Aren't they outside the walls? Wait, you went outside the walls, didn't you? Please, don't risk yourself like that. If anyone got hurt working for the Low House. I hate to ask it, but this next errand should be safe. Easy. Everything runs on charity. And our benefactors, though kind, I think sometimes, well, get sick of seeing me. A new face may ease up the purse strings, or at least save me some errands. So, the mayor, Elias Cartwright, has always been generous to us, but it's been a while since he's donated. Raisha Lands is a huge benefactor. Laredo Firearms has been vital for us. Both of those are routine. More polite reminders, really. The last is a long shot, probably futile. But the Trade Authority is incredibly wealthy, and they have never ever donated to us. If you could convince Duncan Lynch to give us anything, heck, a single credit even, I'd consider it a victory. Only if you can do so without ruffling feathers. We need Cartwright and Lance. But if you can, that would be enormously helpful. Once you're done with that, come back to me. If you ever are down on your luck, our door is always open.
Yeah, it's tough living here. But you can do it on your own.
I wish my granddad was still with us. What happened to the Hassanovs never sat right with him. Old Sahar was so sad near the end. What day is it? Oh, shoot! I forgot. I'll send over my usual monthly donation to Amira. She truly is a wonder. And with the building project her and Mr. Tate are planning, there may be a day when the stretch is a distant memory. Well, from me. Unlike the UC, we don't tax our people to death. The city's budget is very tight, so it forces the community to look after its own. I'll talk with Amira later. I didn't mean to cause any problems. Between thwarting bank robberies and helping the stretch, you have the city's thanks. Truly. Have a wonderful visit.
on deck. You when you have a moment.
Captain, hello. I am...
I think I got them.
Thing for you.
Aquilah's one of the old... cities and the settled systems.
I'm pleased you chose to visit us today. Oh. So Amira has some help? Good. She's going to work herself into an early grave if she's not careful. Laredo Firearms prides itself in helping out all the residents of Aquila City. I'll send Justin over to deliver our monthly donation. The trite answer would be a sense of civic responsibility. But the truth? Guilt. To achieve the level of success I have, broken promises, neglected loved ones, and tough calls. Donations like this are a way of making amends. In the future, I prefer dealing with Amira. Let's change the subject, shall we? Come back anytime.
Funny how Aquila City reminds me of Neon, with the wealth planted in the middle and the poor at the periphery.
The Trade Authority has a firm policy of not getting involved in internal matters. We're neutral in all affairs of the governments of the Freestar Collective and the United Colonies. The Trade Authority's image is doing quite well already. Thank you very much. I'm done discussing this matter. You have a great day.
What are you doing? Have to talk.
I'm being attacked! Do you have... Welcome to Aquila City's trade... The Trade Authority has a firm... We're neutral in... If Aquila City can't figure out how to solve its own internal problems, why should it fall to me? I'm done discussing this matter. Nice to have some civilized conversation.
I'm being attacked!
Why the hell did you do that?
Welcome. What brings you to the Trade Authority? The Trade Authority. We're neutral in... Sorry. I'm done Nice to have some civilized conversation.
Help! I'm being
Something.
Help me! What are you doing?
What brings you to the Trade Authority? The Trade Authority. We're neutral in all of... You can't be... It's a matter of precedent. If we give even a little, we open ourselves up for endless rounds of... begging. No, not one credit. Sorry. I'm done discussing this matter. You have a great day.
What are you doing?
We have
Help! I'm being attacked!
I have something I really need to talk to you about.
Having a good one?
Something for you when you have a moment. Perhaps something you might be interested in.
I received this assignment from 𝗕𝗘𝗚𝗚𝗏 himself. What first attracted me to the universals is the beauty and symmetry with ecosystems, astrophysics, and science. Is it too wild to think it's more than just a chance? Sorry, we're still getting this place set up.
A moment. We should make sure we're well supplied for the trip to I thought you'd never ask. Next stop. Cassiopeia, I assume.
Cartwrights have been donated. Elias and Raisha both sent their donations. Thank you. No word from the Trade Authority. I'm sorry I even asked. I like to believe everyone is capable of empathy and compassion, but people like Duncan test my faith. I didn't say that, but I'm not going to correct you. Sarah Philborn gave me these credits to give to you for your help with the farm. You more than deserve it. Not so fast. I have one more thing for you to do, but I hope it's more of a reward. This is part of the 𝗕𝗘𝗦𝗘𝗏 harvest. I'd like you to deliver it to Simone Jansen and her family. I want you to see the fruits of your labors.
Amira said to expect you. This wheat ensures my family won't go to bed hungry. I genuinely don't know what my family would do without Amira. And you have no idea how much it means. She does. Whether rain or shine, she's there for us. Always smiling. Always comforting. I didn't believe in saints before I got to Aquila City, but I do now. Over here in Aquila, it's humbling to see regular people just looking after us. On behalf of my family, of my daughter, bless you.
Worry. Those walls are solid. Ain't no extra getting in here.
If you ever find an old paper printing of the City of God,
Hey, I heard you had Dunlop's disease.
Huh? What? No, I don't have it. Poor Mr. Crowley.
I'm Annie Wilcox. You're new in town, aren't you? That means I'm gonna keep my eye on you. Nice try. But when I don't want to be seen, I'm like an Ashta in the night. Is it? Or are you just saying that? See, I work for the Freestar Rangers. I'm the first ever Ranger Surveillance Assistant. And that's not some dumb made-up title. Ranger Emma Wilcox gave it to me, so it's official. I watch people and listen to them. If I hear something about smuggling, or Aurora, or gangs, I tell the Rangers. It's easy, because no one pays attention to kids. Plus, I know a lot of good hiding places all over the city. That's right. She's a senior ranger, which means she's in charge of me and all the other rangers. Well, except Diego, because he's a senior ranger too. Oh, and the marshal. He's in charge of all the rangers. I'm the best Ranger Surveillance Assistant that ever lived. Someday, I'll teach other kids the tricks of the trade. Gotta prepare the next generation, because I won't be here forever. So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna be a law-abiding citizen? Or are you gonna be on my list? My list of people who might be troublemakers, so I have to watch them extra close. You don't want to be on my list. I had a feeling you say that. It's that look in your eye that says, I don't care about the law. Well, if I was you, I'd watch my step around here. Cause this Aquila City is under the protection of the Free Star Rangers. Ain't no lawbreaker who can get away from them. Once the Rangers are after you, you're as good as got. Don't say you ain't been warned. Aquila City is just crawling with crime. It's everywhere. And it's up to us Rangers to do something about it.
And Ranger surveillance assistants.
Someone's stealing guns and stuff from Laredo Arms.
And none of the adults believe us.
So we're hoping, you know, you can help us break it all open. My mother is Senior Ranger Emma Wilcox. And she said that I am a Ranger surveillance assistant. Ask her yourself. Because they're dumb. I give security a whole list of crimes and leads, and they barely pay attention anymore. I'm practically doing their job for them. Certainly. I was doing my Ranger patrol one day, and there was a suspicious character casing Laredo Arms. I watched him as long as I could, but I had to rush home for bedtime. First thing in the morning, I came back and interrogated Justin Sneed. And he said they were tracking down an inventory discrepancy. I told him about the suspicious stranger, but Mr. Sneed didn't believe me. I couldn't prove anything, but the suspect was acting all sorts of funny. He was trying to make sure no one could see him. My mom says you have to listen to your gut in this business. I just know he's a thief. I've checked back regularly with Mr. Sneed. Well, up until he told me I'm trespassing. And he said their new inventory system keeps, hiccuping. But it's no hiccup. It's robbery. This case was too big for just one ranger, so I deputized Emily.
I'm an assistant Ranger surveillance assistant.
Or, something like that. And we found out that the thief breaks in most nights, but like, really late. He's got his own key card. We just need to catch him. Security will believe you. We did all the things. Crime scene investigated. Witnesses interviewed. And suspect tailed.
You two are quite the little pair of detectives now, aren't you?
I followed the suspect all day. He had no idea.
Emily caught him opening the side door one night. That's when we knew for sure we have an actual criminal here. You're doing Aquila City a big service. Best I figure he's there around midnight. You need to wait for him to exit Laredo, then catch him red-handed. We need to bring him to justice.
So, how are you? Everything good?
I'm doing pretty good. Just got a new job, a new apartment.
I just know Annie's gonna be a ranger one day. Just like her mom.
How did you catch me? What? Shit. Yeah? I can explain. It's not... Oh, hell. Oh, God, no. Security.
Everyone, don't move! Don't anybody move. Let's see. If it ain't the hero of Galbank. And who do we have here? Looks like you're carrying a lot of weapons for a nighttime stroll.
Hell, I give up.
Smart move. I got a tip something was going down tonight. Was little Annie actually right about all this? Who would have thunk it, right? I got her from here. 𝗕𝗘𝗓 City owes you again. And, thank Annie for me. Dear God, she's never gonna let us hear the end of this.
I heard that the walls of 𝗕𝗘𝗓 City were built to prevent nocturnal predators from overrunning the place.
I can't tell one day from the next.
Good to see you.
Did you catch the thief? Tell me it worked.
Annie, what are you doing up? It's way past your bedtime.
Mom, I have to know. You got him right? Right?
All she wanted to do was talk about 𝗕𝗘𝗓 City's history. I got a 90-minute lecture on the great 𝗨𝗦𝗘𝗘𝗏, founder of the 𝗓𝗘𝗏 Collective. How pathetic is it that I can't compete with a
I knew it!
Annie L. Wilcox, what did you do?
I told you about it. You know the Laredo robberies? Well, we caught the thief.
Wait, so that's real?
Of course, Mom. I told you.
She's telling the truth. You're not pulling my leg, right?
Spirit?
Might be time for a change.
Annie's been giving me reports on her patrols for years. This is the first time anything, well, real may have come of it.
This is getting old.
Oh, boy. Annie, we'll talk more about this later. But I'm proud of you. But you've got to be careful.
Yes, Mom. I'm gonna be the best stranger surveillance assistant ever.
Thank you for helping my girl and anything else involved. Take this. Lord preserve me.
Thanks for all your help on the Laredo caper. Maybe we'll work together again.
Change of scenery.
A ranger's work is never truly done.
You won't find a better selection of brews and beverages anywhere in the 𝗓𝗘𝗏 Collective.
Just let me drink in peace.
This.
Gotta try to liven things up a little.
The mayor's all right. Always
Well, hey
painting
there.
too rosy a picture,
All
though.
right.
You're in the Vanguard, right? Hey, thanks for your service.
I hope that never happens again.
If I could just get the seismic data, I could prove my theory. You got some good news, I hope? Well, that's that then. So, this next part, it's a bit delicate. See that guard tower across the way there? I need to get in there and make a few small modifications to the terminal inside. I don't have the processing power to collate all the data that'll be coming in from the sensors. The existing network does. Oh goodness, I really am bad at communicating sometimes. I have that part well in hand. The, guard standing outside there, he's not gonna let me in. I need you to distract him.
Hacking the system isn't how we should be distracting that guard, but I'll follow your lead.
I should only need a few moments. So, I don't know, convince him to take a break or something. Or if you're feeling particularly rebellious, maybe give him some official business to attend to. I believe it's what Davis would refer to as a ruckus. As soon as you've got him occupied, I'll scoot in and out before anyone notices. Okay? Let's do this.
Locals can be especially colorful here. Want a drink?
If you're looking for a sidearm, I recommend Laredo's Firearm Factory. Built right here. Hey, no funny stuff with that boost pack. Got enough flight traffic as it is. What brings you to the wall? Boredom? Because if that's what you're looking for, you've hit the jackpot. And I'm just supposed to take this on what? Faith? I'm glad you understand the position I'm in here. You think I'm a pushover? I'm not trying to make your life difficult, you know. Yes, I believe you. Just don't do anything I'll regret, okay?
That's just a lack of empathy.
That's all settled then. Thanks for the assist. Hope you're none too worse for wear.
Consider them a bad person.
It's definitely a red flag.
This is bending the rules, not breaking laws. And it'll all work out in the end. You'll see. Once enough data has been collected, I'll have the proof I need to convince them, especially Davis, that my technology is useful. If you're curious, come back tomorrow. I might even have preliminary findings.
feel free to read. This is a haven for all that love letters. So many books to read and so little time. I am a bit of an aficionado of old Earth novels. Well, truth be told, it's more of an obsession. Reading their stories is a revelation, not only for, the pure imagination, but the window you get into long-gone historical eras. I'll pay handsomely for any books you find like that. Except Charles Dickens. Definitely not Charles Dickens. Oh, nothing wrong at all. When colonists were forced to leave Earth for good, cargo space was precious, and for some reason everyone thought to bring their Charles Dickens collection. No, I mean he was an amazing writer. His stories are timeless, but what I'd give for a copy of Sense and Sensibility, or the Three Musketeers, oh! The original Three Musketeers, mind you, not the dozens of interpretations of it. If you call that reading. Movies, slates, theater, all have their appeal. But books, you can get a window to mankind in its earliest days. Whether adventure with Homer, or the actual thoughts of Julius Caesar penned in his own hands. And they offer visions of the future and wonderfully impossible things and might-have-beens. So, yeah, I do like books. Yes, I had a husband, but he's no longer with us. We loved to travel, and always we'd be looking for rare books. Most of what you see here are mementos. It's sometimes hard to sell, but books are not meant to be hoarded. They're meant to be shared and spark something in us. W.E.B. Du Bois, the civil rights activist? He wrote a science fiction novel. I simply must have this. This is real, right? Thank you. For purchase? Yes.
Would someone really tamper with the data intentionally? I just don't see any other explanation. Oh, it's you. I got the data from the seismic sensors, and I need help. Nothing that would get you in trouble this time. Promise. I need someone to go talk to Davis Wilson. He isn't speaking to me. None of the security folks are, actually. Oh, thank you. It's really nice to hear that when others just don't seem to care. Remember the sensors you helped me set up around the city? Well, Davis Wilson is pretty angry about it. I suppose I should have expected that, but now no one involved with security is willing to talk to me. At all. And I really need to coordinate with them because the data I'm getting from the sensors is, well, it's off. Not what I expected at all. Kinda everything. The timing of the results, the strength of the signals. I did a lot of research on the Ashta before I started this project, and none of it lines up like it should. No, the tech is fine. I never would have put it out there if I had any reservations about that. Look, I know I screwed up here. I went behind Davis's back and did what he told me not to. I don't expect him to talk to me. But this, I'm not gonna lie, it looks an awful lot like someone has been purposely messing with the system. I can't just stroll up and accuse him of anything, but maybe someone, you I'm thinking, could just ask around, see if something is going on. I'd really appreciate it.
Vigilance is what keeps Aquila City safe. Don't mean to be rude, but I got a lot of things on my plate right now, so unless this is important, I'm gonna have to ask you to come back some other time. Oh, did you now? And did that perhaps come from a certain entitled so-called inventor who's caused me no end of headaches? Right, of course you are. Well then, concerned citizen, there have been some unpleasant developments of late. I'm not gonna name names, but you and I both know damn well who to thank. She made my life a lot more difficult, but I don't have time to deal with that right now. I have more important things to worry about. Been tracking Ashta for a long time now, and suddenly their behavior doesn't add up. Probably not a coincidence. Maybe it would, but right now I don't give a damn about her data. Now I need to get back out there and get some eyes on this situation. Since you so interested, looks like you can handle yourself. You wanna join me? Yeah, I've heard more than a few hunters say something similar. They nearly all apologize for it later. Gear yourself up however you need to and meet me at the gate. We'll head out from there. All right, you ready to head out there? Okay then. Just stick close to me, keep your head on a swivel, and you'll be fine. We'll be back before you know it. And maybe we'll get some answers. This is what I'm talking about. These tracks. They're all wrong. The spacing, the depth, just doesn't make any sense. Let's keep going. The Ashta are clever, but they usually predict. These tracks don't follow any other paths I expect them to. It just doesn't add up. Looks like the tracks head this way. What in the hell? This is one of our security box. Someone said something out the incoming! Ashta, incoming! You know how to handle yourself. Most times someone encounters an Ashta, they panic. Not you. Now I got even more questions. Who in the hell did this, and why? Qio'ni is a pain in the ass, but this was messing with her precious data. I mean, it's possible, but I don't think so. Someone from Aquila Security did this. We're the only ones that have access to these robots or can change their orders. I need to check this over, see if I can find some more details. But while I do that, I need you to run back to the city. Check the access logs on the computer in the barracks. Look for whoever signed for this thing last. I'll meet you in the city when I'm done here.
So we're gonna have a house, Mom? That's what Mr. Tate is working on. We'll have to move out when construction begins.
A for real house. Like the one next door?
You know, I went to chef school.
People have no idea. Modern city with walls. Quite a throwback, wouldn't you agree? Hey, ever run into spacers? Scum.
Freestar Security! Stop running!
Who's that?
Freestar Security! Stop right now!
Give it up! Mr. Tate, he's a realtor, has been trying to organize something for the folk of the stretch. He's a good man.
Another day, another shift. If it weren't for the walls, the whole town would be an 𝗕𝗢𝗘𝗏. Oh, hey there. Back already. Davis said something about you going on patrol with him? He's... he's all right, isn't he? Nothing, bad happened out there. Damn it! I thought I deleted those. Look, people getting hurt was never part of it. Davis has just been so stressed over this whole thing with that woman and her sensors, and it's been affecting him on the job. The damn robot was just supposed to stomp around, mess up her data, and then come back. I didn't know it would rile up the 𝗕𝗢𝗃 so much, and it wasn't supposed to break down. Oh, I get you. Here. It's all I've got. Please, don't tell him it was me. I can wipe the security logs as soon as you're gone.
You take credit to ignore what Bailey's done? What's the matter with you?
We need to get to the bottom of it. The robot's internals are fried, so I came up empty. You have any better luck than I did? Know who's responsible? You serious? Oh, Bailey, what were you thinking? My own people sabotaging equipment. Whole world's gone crazy. Well, I'm gonna have to go deal with this. Thanks for helping out. I'll kick some credits your way. May not be much. Not made of money around here. You might want to give Miss Alpin some time to get clean data. Might be her research. Well, it might prove useful.
Can you even read Jim's inventory?
You need a magnifying glass for it.
It looks like we're down 2 crates of aluminum.
No, the guard took that to reinforce the railings on the wall. I have a note from Bailey.
2 crates aluminum. Signed Bailey. Not one for paperwork, is he?
You're lucky you got that much.
Well, as much as I can tell, it seems in order. Might look rough, but the neighborhood's safe enough.
Another
Except
day,
Aggie's.
another tourist.
We're planning on staying a while. We could grab a room at the Stone Root Inn.
Work hard, play hard. That should be the Freestar motto.
Aqo'l is really the heart of the Freestar Collective.
Hello. Good to see you. If there's anything you need, just let me know.
Hey.
Hi there, friend.
We need to be smarter, better in the way we handle the Ashta. Hey, how have you been? Staying out of trouble? Didn't I say it was all for a good cause? Things here have been, well, they're better. The ISIS thought a bit between me and Davis. We'll probably never be friends, but at least we're on speaking terms now. I think he finally appreciates the value of my research. I did, repeatedly. In fact, so much that he asked me to stop, so I apologized for that, repeatedly. In fact, speaking of Davis, I have to confess, I'm a little worried about him. In analyzing the recent data, I've isolated readings suggesting that someone is making patrols far more often than in the recent past. I don't have any direct evidence, but I know it's Davis. It's gotta be. I'm worried that everything I've inadvertently put him through is kinda, I don't know, pushed him over the edge, or at least a little too close to it. I have recognized that Davis has an emotional reaction to my presence. We're on speaking terms, but he still gets agitated. I don't want to make things worse. I'm better with statistics and circuits than I am with people. I've already made a mess of this situation. Do you think you could go speak to him? If nothing else, it would ease my conscience.
I can't believe Bailey did such a bonehead move. Oh, brother. Why is it every time I see your face, I bet a headache's gonna follow shortly after? Mm-hmm. All broken up about it, I'm sure. So what can I do for you? I don't know whether I should be reassured that someone cares or creeped out that someone's watching me that closely. Ah, that woman, I swear. Even though we've smoothed over most of the rough spots, she still manages to strike a nerve without even trying. I'm not quite sure, if I'm being honest. It's a gut feeling. When we were out there and we found that robot, obviously that threw me for a loop. Still can't believe one of my own people will pull a stunt like that, endangering us all. But the more I thought about it, that whole episode doesn't account for some of the tracks I saw out there. Too large, too spread out. Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of. If there's a bigger Ashta out there, something meaner than what we've seen so far, I have to know. I tell you what, if you and Qi'Ona are worried, why don't you just come with me then? Either I get an extra gun in the fight, or you get to laugh at the old man and say, I told you so. I'll give you a chance to gear up if you need it. And maybe grab the biggest gun you got, just in case. All right. You know, Qi'Ona showed me her data. She's a clever kid. She's got a lot of things figured out. I think we can make some real improvements in the future. She had a couple sets of data that she thought were erroneous or something. But it seems to me that it might not be. Bigger, faster, Ashta sounds like it matches up with the tracks I've seen. But, I tell you, I'm hoping she's right, and it's just a glitch. And, no need to tell her I said that. Wouldn't want it going to her head. All right, here we are. Let's head this way. I remember a story from the first time I was here on Aquila. I had totally forgotten about it till recently. Every so often we get independent types who think that they can succeed where everyone else has failed. Some of them stride off into the wilderness, certain that they're going to make more credits than anyone in history. Mining, botany stuff, whatever. Warners just don't get through to them. Most of them don't come back. But this one-time miner from some corporation or other, he drags himself back into the city bloody and half dead. Claimed he seen an Ashta big as a house out there. The older guys all said he was delirious. And me, well, I was new as anything to just listen to him. Now, though, I'm wondering if maybe it wasn't just blood loss and a heat stroke. Maybe he really did see something. Maybe I should have come out here a long time ago. Shit, that's gotta be it! No matter what happens, you make it back to the city and tell them about this. You hear me? That's one
So that's what those look like on the inside.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't think we were gonna make it through that. If you hadn't been with me, no way I'd be standing right now.
There's no way we could allow that to happen.
You are something else, you know that? We got out alive this one time. That's good. But this ain't gonna be the last time we have to deal with this. Now that we know these things are out here, we need to track them and keep them out of populated areas. And that plan is gonna need everybody. So, I'm gonna swallow my pride a bit here and ask you to go tell Keone what we found. Let her know that her data wasn't an error and that she needs to focus on it. Oh, don't worry about me. Thanks again for saving my ass.
You do not want to go outside the city wall.
So, what happened? No, he didn't. There's no way Davis would say that, even if it's true. But it is true, isn't it? My data was accurate. You know, I was really hitting a point where I was starting to think maybe this was all a mistake. That I stuck my nose into something I shouldn't have. Davis was so certain they had everything under control that they didn't want or need my help. But they did, didn't they? Yes, you're right. I need to reevaluate all the existing data. Who knows what else we can get out of it? I need to get to work on this immediately. But while I've been sitting around, I whipped up a little something for you. I thought it was funny. Now that I'm giving it to you, I'm hoping it's not in really poor taste. Anyway, thank you. Again.
Right, Captain. Where are we headed next?